That's how close it is.
Now, folks, so you clearly understand it's advantage Bush, but it has been for quite some time. Can he close the deal? We just simply don't know. Bush has 240 electoral votes. That's with Alaska's just in 3 added. Gore has 231 with 270 needed to win. Take you back to the map because it's important to understand. Florida has 25 electoral votes. Even if Gore were to lose Florida, mathematically he could still win. He'd have to run the table, get Arkansas, Iowa, Wisconsin, Washington, and Oregon. That's if Gore was to finally loses Florida. Arkansas, President Bush, 6 electoral votes drop in Arkansas, and they go for Bush. Now, does that mean Bush wins? No, it means he goes to 246 electoral votes to Gore's 231. Now, we said before that Bush was sort of camped at the 5-yard line. He moves down to about the 3-yard line. Can he stick it in? We don't know. Florida, Iowa, Wisconsin, Washington, and Oregon now get down to the decisive 5 since Arkansas, Bill Clinton's home state, has gone to Bush. Now, Governor George Bush, Karl Rove, and the others around him bragged, there's no other way to put it, all along in the campaign, we will carry the home states of Al Gore and Bill Clinton. They put up, and they delivered. They put up, now they can shut up because they've won the 6 electoral votes in Arkansas and 11 in Tennessee and can simply sit back and say, listen, we told you we were going to do it, and we did it. But the election isn't over. Closer and closer, Bush moves to the decisive 270 electoral votes, but there are enough out there in the states where the polls have closed, but no decision yet, for Gore still to win. It's odds against, but it can be done. Leslie Stahl, what do we know about control of the House?
Well, we don't know anything definitively. Best guess, and it is a guess, is that they will pick up not the 7 they need, but between 2 and 4. This will tighten the margin in the House between the 2 parties and make it, Dan, nearly impossible for the new Speaker, if it's Denny Hastert as the Republican, to really get anything done. The 2 parties are going to be that close to each other. But best guess, the Republicans hang on.
Well, speaking of Dennis Hastert, the Speaker of the House, the Republican Speaker of the House, he is with us now. Speaker Hastert, thank you for joining us. Leslie Stahl has just said, well, it looks like the Republicans will gain control of the House, keep it there, but it's going to be awful hard for you or any other speaker to get very much done. Do you agree with that?
Well, we were able to get some things done this year with a Democrat president and only at one point a 5-vote majority in the House. We balanced the budget for 4 consecutive years. We paid down the debt, $354 billion. We didn't touch a penny of Social Security or Medicare trust funds. That's a pretty good record. It's never been done before in any Congress. And, quite frankly, on things like health care and education, we need to do that in a bipartisan way. So folks need to work across the aisle on both sides to get those things done. And look forward to working with the new president. We're going to have a long wait tonight to see what our margin is in the House and certainly who becomes President of the United States. But I'm cautiously optimistic. We've been able to protect some of our seats in Kentucky and North Carolina and a couple other states where we thought we were very close. Plus, we picked up a few seats. So we feel pretty good so far.
Speaker Hastert, you don't mind if I call you Coach, but Speaker, if it turns out that you have a Republican president, a Republican-controlled Senate, even if Dick Cheney is the margin, and a Republican-controlled House, that's good for the country?
Well, it never happened in almost a half a century. And I think the issues of tax relief, tax reform, balancing the budget, paying down the debt, education reform, health care reform are some things that we can do, and we'll be working on that right away to get it done.
Dennis Hastert, Republican Speaker of the House, thank you for being with us, emphasizing that
my pleasure.
It now looks as though the Republicans will maintain control of the House, but with a very, very narrow margin. The electoral vote count at this hour, 246 for Bush, 242 for Al Gore. Washington State goes for Gore, keeping his hopes alive. 11 electoral votes in the Evergreen State. The motto up there is by and by, and in the sweet by and by, as it turns out for Gore, he gets Washington's 11 electoral votes. Is it too little, too late? No person can say. What we can say is that Gore's hopes are still alive, because now it's Bush 246, Gore 242. Let me tell you, I don't give people advice, but if the kids haven't gone to sleep, get them in the room, because people are going to be talking about this presidential race for a long time to come. Gore is 28 electoral votes away from becoming president of the United States. Bush is 24 electoral votes away. 246 Bush, 242 Gore. Let's go to the map, because now it's down to a decisive 4 states. Everything in red belongs to Bush. Blinking lights mean the states that went for Clinton Gore in '96 but have gone for Bush tonight. Bush has 246, all the states in red. Gore has 242, all the states in blue. Not many states in blue, but the big ones are, and that's the reason Gore is still in the hunt. He may be lagging a bit, but it's still possible. Florida, 25 electoral votes. Iowa with 7. Wisconsin with 11. Oregon with 7. This is now where the election is going to be decided. Our CBS News election coverage will continue in a moment with Bush out front, 246 to 242, with 270 needed to win.
It has a flat rear floor, so there's more room for your legs, which may or may not be a good thing.
Joey, cut it out!
Introducing the all-new Civic from Honda. Amazing but true.
Disney presents a fantastic journey into the imagination. Now you can experience it all in a brand new full-length feature. It's a breathtaking celebration of sight, sound, and magic. From the animators that brought you Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, and Aladdin, Fantasia 2000, rated G, coming to video and Disney DVD November 14th.
Do you want your parties to be really special? Try Rocher, the European speciality your guest will adore. Smooth chocolate, crunchy hazelnut, a luxurious taste sensation. It's more of a party with Rocher.
Now at Zales, save up to 50%. Plus, get an extra 10% off everything with your Zales charge card. Like this 5-carat bracelet, just $4.49 with your Zales charge. Now through Saturday at Zales stores nationwide, or shop online at Zales.com.
Wednesday on the funniest new sitcom this season.
Oprah, how are you?
Busy. You know how that is.
Please, I'm working on at least 10 projects here myself.
Bet idolizes Oprah Winfrey.
They're Oprah cakes. Healthy eating is all about commitment.
But Bet's biggest dream
I'm going to be on her book club next month. Check your local listing.
is about to become her most embarrassing moment.
I'm going to go now. Maybe you should.
Oprah guest stars
You're not getting a hug today.
on a brand new Bet. CBS Wednesday at 8/7 Central.
One of the great close races in American presidential history. Dan Rather at CBS News election headquarters in New York. Bush 246, Gore 242, with 270 electoral votes needed to win. The race hangs in the balance. Here are the decisive 4. They're all in white on your map. The red, Bush has won. The blue, Gore has won. The ones in white, the polls have closed, but no decision. Florida, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Oregon. Now, let me give you an idea of how close this race is. First, let's go to Florida. These are votes actually in and counted, with 86% of the precincts reporting. And remember, there's a large absentee ballot to be counted there in Florida. Bush leads 50 to 48%, with 86% of the precincts reporting. 25 electoral votes there. Wisconsin, 11 electoral votes. And Gore leads Bush 47%, Nader getting 4% of the vote in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's 11 electoral votes, along with Florida's 25 out there. Bush leads in Florida now. Gore leads in Wisconsin. Moving to Iowa, 7 electoral votes. Gore leads 49 to 48%, with 76% of the precincts reporting. 7 electoral votes there in Iowa. And Oregon, where the polls have been closed for about an hour and 15 minutes now. 7 electoral votes. Bush 48%, Gore 46%, Ralph Nader 4%. Ed Bradley, let's go back to Florida. Those 25 electoral votes, we've been saying it since the first election coverage began so many hours ago, may decide it. Any figures that might be of interest to us besides the fact that Bush is leading by about 2 percentage points?
Well, the numbers that you just saw there, you've got about 103,000 votes separating Bush and Gore in Florida. And the CBS polling experts have taken a look at those numbers and where they're from and what's still to come in. And I think that there's about 86% of the vote that's still to come in. They expect that number to shrink, that margin to shrink. So Gore is going to creep up on Bush. They're not sure by how much. But here's a wild card here. You've got 30,000 absentee ballots from overseas. They're not going to be counted tonight. So we may be here all night, or we may have to come back tomorrow. This may not be decided in Florida tonight. It happened in 1988 when Connie Mack did not know that he won until the next day, the day after the election. And with those 30,000 ballots out there from overseas that aren't going to be counted tonight, as this margin shrinks, that could be the deciding factor.
And the Bush people would say, whether it's true or not, that those 30,000 absentee ballots from overseas would be mostly from U.S. military personnel and are likely to go to George Bush. Doesn't look good for Gore in Florida at this moment, but no person can say how it's actually going to go. The electoral vote count, 246 for Bush, 242 for Gore, with 270 needed to win. The popular vote count overall in the nation at this hour, 49-48, Bush leads in the popular vote. That could change with the now decisive 4, Florida, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Oregon still out there. On the map, the decisive 4 are Florida with 25 electoral votes, Iowa with 7, Wisconsin with 11, Oregon with 7. Electoral vote count, 246 Bush, 242 Gore. Our CBS News election coverage will continue in a moment. Stay here with us. One of these states could drop at any moment.